What colour is your hair when it's clean? And that's a father saying that to his daughter. So you have to be da-da-da-da. Well, I'm a whore for the ceviche. Okay, fuck you calling me father like it doesn't turn you on just to say it. That's Fleabag. That's the pretty stuff, Fleabag.
You okay, father?
Oh, fuck you calling me father like it doesn't turn you on just to say it. I'm here at the moment in Los Angeles and I met Phoebe the other night for a drink and we were walking, we always walk around to this place that we go nearby. Somebody had reversed their car and said, oh my God, we watched Fleabag when we were I think it was during COVID or something. And that's how they got to know each other and then they were there and they were married and they stopped and they were like, it becomes part of people's lives, you know, and they reversed the car on like Sunset Boulevard to come and tell us. It was so lovely. And then it happened again the other night. Somebody came up and just said something lovely. And I mean, that's completely wonderful. Okay. What colour is your hair when it's clean? What a great line. That's Lena Dunham, who I adore. And that's in Captain Called Birdy. And that's to Bella Ramsey. What colour is your hair when it's clean? And that's a father saying that to his daughter. What colour's your hair when it's clean? Lena conducts the most fun, wonderful set. I loved that whole experience. She allows you to improvise, but she's also incredibly literary as a person. She loves words and the way she constructs a sentence is absolutely amazing. And her sets are really fun, glorious places to be. I really, really admire her. I'm so glad that we got to work together. The thing that I really believe, and maybe that is an Irish thing because there's such a literary tradition in Ireland, but the way people construct sentences is really always a source of total delight for me. In the hotel last night where I was staying in LA, the waiter, someone was like, sorry, can you make a recommendation? And the waiter said, well, I'm a whore for the ceviche. The waiter said it. And I loved him so much. He was like, oh, I'm a whore for the ceviche, but I don't know, do you like ceviche? And I thought, that's brilliant. So brilliant. How predictably moronic, but then isn't that what M stands for? Moron. Oh, I do know what this is from. This is from Spectre. How predictably moronic, but then isn't that what M stands for? I had an office, a big sort of scary office on the set, and I opened up a drawer and I had my own headed notepaper and I was like, this is so cool. The budget on this must be huge. Like nobody asked, it wasn't required in the scene. It was just like they had it there just in case anybody wanted. I mean, that was probably more the budget of most of the films that I did in the early 2000s. So it was cool. In a world of locked rooms, the man with the key is king. And honey, you should see me in a crown. That's Sherlock. Yeah. And I played Moriarty. Another villain. In a world of locked rooms, the man with the key is king. And honey, you should see me in a crown. I have to say, miss me at the end of an episode once. And that's what people say. And sometimes they say it on the street and I'm like, I didn't even know you. I didn't even know you'd gone. I don't miss you. And they're like, oh yeah. I loved working with Benedict on that. And you know, the first series of that show went down so well. I only had a little bit to do in the first series, so I was so excited to focus on Moriarty in one of the episodes particularly because people loved the show almost immediately. And that line is an amazing line for an actor to say. Yeah. Okay. I'm in Wales and I don't have to pretend to be something that I'm not. Well, that is Pride. Gaffin. I'm in Wales and I don't have to pretend to be something that I'm not. I think because I played some of those kind of extreme villainous characters and I was really dying to play a sort of more low-key character, and it's such a wonderful film for anyone who hasn't seen it. I always recommend Pride because I think it's just a beautiful film about how we're just much more similar to each other than we think we are. And what was brilliant about that character, the character, was that he was one of, I think, 15 gay characters who were the lead characters, and so it means you weren't just playing like a token gay because everybody was completely distinct from each other, even though they all had sort of relatively similar sexualities. He just shows that, you know, there's as much diversity within a sexuality as there is for straight people too. I can't get used to calling myself queer was always such an insult. Oh, that is All of Us Strangers. I can't get used to calling myself queer was always such an insult. So much of it was personal, even though it was very different to me. I suppose it explored the idea of losing your parents, which at the time I hadn't. I lost my mother since. But I think that's the power of the sort of empathetic nature of art, that it allows us to explore things that otherwise we might be too frightened to explore. That film has helped me in a way, because since the film ended, I feel like there's stuff in it that I feel like I was able to exercise in some ways, you know. Oh fuck, and then it all went horribly, horribly wrong. And every little monster agreed. He was the best show and tell surprise ever. This is The School of Roars. Oh, I love that you put this in.
And every little monster agreed he was the best show and tell surprise ever.
The School of Roars, people, is a children's animated series in which I play the narrator, and I also play one of the teachers who's called Mr. Marrow, I think he's called. He's a dinosaur, he's a teacher, and they're all little dinosaurs who go to school, and it's called the School of Roars. I mean, that just makes me want to eat my own fist. It's so cute. And it's absolutely exhausting to do it. Yeah, because you have to be really, because it's for 4-year-olds. And so if you're speaking like this, the 4-year-old's like, well, who's that scary man? Who's that scary man? So you have to be and at the end, you are so tired. And when you're doing it in a booth, there's no air. So you're like, oh, and then you also have to roar. That's the other thing. Because you're playing a dinosaur. The things that are exhausting. It's not playing Hamlet. It's this motherfucking thing. Excuse me, you don't say that, but you know, you can, yeah. Yeah, School of Roars. Love it. Yeah, that's right, Dickie Greenleaf. It's nice to meet you too. That's from Ripley. That's when Tom Ripley is pretending to be Dickie Greenleaf in the mirror.
Yeah, that's right, Dickie. Dickie Greenleaf. It's nice to meet you too.
He's a really solitary figure, and to be able to just work out what's going on inside his head and whether he's sort of capable of love or whether he isn't. I kind of believe that all human beings are in need of love in some way, but it was quite difficult in that sense to sort of access that within him because he was so solitary. So yeah, that's why I think he continues to fascinate people, Tom Ripley. Okay, you will burn for what you do here. This isn't science, this is the work of Satan himself. Is this Victor Frankenstein? Boom, boom, boom.
You will burn for what you do here. This isn't science. This is the work of Satan himself.
I played somebody with a glass eye. I remember that. Dan Radcliffe, what a lovely, lovely person, and he's done such interesting things with his career. He's on stage now, so I was delighted to be in that, even though I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. Are they out of their fucking minds? One slow night, the brass think the Hun have just gone home. That is 1917.
Are they out of their fucking minds? One slow night, the brass think the Hun have just gone home.
Oh, he's so great to work with. He's really, really talented. He's very extraordinarily gifted at. He's so observant. He's able to remember extraordinary things about blocking, and he understands acting, which is not all directors do. And he's got a real visual thing, and he's sort of very soft-natured, and he's fun. You've always been against going to America. Korea? Is it? That's my first film.
You've always been against going to America.
There's a little tiny little Irish film called Korea about this boy who has been conscripted to go to fight in the Korean War in Cavan in the middle of Ireland. I was 17, first ever job, first ever film. It was lovely, and there was an actor in it who played my father called Donald Donnelly, and he was an enormous influence on me. He was very well known, but he was incredibly kind to everybody on the set. And I've always just you know, you learn how to be by looking at your, you know, elders. And he was just lovely to everybody. I remember very clearly on a Saturday afternoon watching like old MGM movies, you know, like those big things where there's, you know, lots of people doing synchronized swimming in a big pool from the, like, you know what I mean, like old school, like, you know, choreography of Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. And there was something about that I just absolutely adored. And I knew immediately, I remember when I was about 7 saying that that's something that I wanted to do, which is weird when I think about it. I was very shy, and so that helped me kind of come out of my shell. So I was very nurtured by my mom in that sense. She pushed me in the right direction. That's what I remember inspiring me. Yeah.